Hi, my name is Maria Cristina Gumba and you can call me Tin. I'm a DSW student and I'm here to talk about my field instruction experience in generalist social work practice.
The field instruction agency I worked with was the Naga City Social Welfare and Development Office and was assigned to the Sanggawadan program. The registered social workers who guided me were CSWDO Department Head Annabel Vargas and Sanggawadan Program Coordinator Jeanette Alarcon. Sanggawadan is a short term for Sararong Gawad para sa aking Nagenyo and caters to the indigent children of Naga City. Children who help out their family in earning income or beg on the streets instead of attending their classes are the target clients of the program. The program provides rice subsidy, school supplies, and other forms of assistance in exchange for the child's consistent attendance at school and their parent or legal guardian's consistent attendance in meetings and other activities conducted by the Sanggawadan Program Coordinator. The structure of the Sanggawadan beneficiaries is as follows. Indigent families with at least 3 children are qualified for the program. 1 child per indigent family is chosen and becomes the Sanggawadan Child Scholar. One of the parent or the legal guardian of that child is the Sanggawadan member. The Sanggawadan Child Scholars and Sanggawadan members in every barangay elect their officers. The Sanggawadan presidents in every barangay gather to form the Sanggawadan Youth Federation and the Sanggawadan Federation who represent the child scholars and members respectively. As of now, the Sanggawadan program covers 26 out of 27 barangays in Naga City because these are the barangays where indigent families are present. Work in Sanggawadan program is done in the micro, mezzo, and macro levels. In the micro level, home visits and provision of rice subsidies, school supplies, and other forms of assistance to each child scholar and member are conducted. In the mezzo level, the federations, specifically the Sanggawadan Federation and Sanggawadan Youth Federation, are organized and assembled regularly. In the macro level, community activities are conducted every month, ranging from monitoring activities to capability building activities, depending on the needs identified and agreed upon by the federations and CSWDO. The frameworks that guided me in assessing the work in Sanggawadan program are the Sanggawadan Ordinance or Naga City Ordinance number 2016-043 and the Biopsychosocial Approach. I treated the ordinance as my guiding framework in observing and making assessments on the program implementation, while on the other hand, I made use of the biopsychosocial approach in interacting with the Sanggawadan child scholars, members, officers, and even the colleagues I was given the opportunity to work with in CSWDO. In more than 8 weeks of working under the Sanggawadan program, I was able to contribute my time, skills, and efforts in the following endeavors. Number 1, home visits were conducted and documented. Number 2, meetings of both the Sanggawadan Federation and Sanggawadan Youth Federation were facilitated and documented. Number 3, community-level trainings on basic first aid were observed and documented. Number 4, elections of Sanggawadan officers per barangay were facilitated and documented. Number 5, an improved and more comprehensive profiling form, Memorandum of Agreement or MOA, and a soft copy of the Sanggawadan logo were formulated. Number 6, profiling forms were distributed to the Sanggawadan Federation for dissemination to the Sanggawadan members in every barangay. Number 7, the database of members and children beneficiaries were reorganized and updated. And lastly, number 8, the online backup for documents and files of the Sanggawadan program was created. During this short stint I had with CSWDO in the Sanggawadan program, I realized 3 important things that I believe I will take with me as I pursue a career in social work. Number 1, Implementation is key. Implementation is very crucial because it serves as the link between the plan, along with its principles and long-term goals, and the actual target clients. Whether the clients will open up to the program depends on the implementation. It all depends on the careful and consistent implementation of the program to ensure that the long-term overall goals are gradually achieved and reflected on the communities with indigent families. Number 2, studies on the program's impact are very important. After more than a decade of implementation, the Sanggawadan program has been doing the same thing without comprehensive studies to show how effective it is. Because of this, the program remains stagnant with no clear direction to take in order to make sure it is in the right path to achieve its goals or even deepen its impact on the children, their families, and their communities. Even though I'm no expert in research, I think that an extensive study of the program, its impacts, and recommendations that aim to enhance the components of the program is very necessary and will be very helpful. And number 3, applying what was learned through the field instruction was challenging yet fulfilling. It's good to be given the opportunity to apply the lessons I learned in an actual setting, especially that I've been relying on modules for the past 2 years now. Indeed, experience is a great teacher, and what I learned in the modules were put to the test because of the field instruction course. It was very fulfilling whenever I was able to accomplish or complete an assigned task because I really felt that I was able to contribute to the program's cause, which is very close to my heart. Although I was able to finish the semester in a positive note with regard to my involvement in the Sanggawadan program, there were challenges encountered in program implementation, and they are the following: lack of manpower, lack of focus on the program, documentation issues, monitoring issues, and lack of comprehensive evidence-based impact assessment or studies. As of now, there is only one social worker assigned on the program, although there is one staff in CSWDO that is assigned to assist her in program implementation. The staff's lack of qualifications does not take enough workload off of the Sanggawadan program coordinator, especially work that involves monitoring, home visits, strategizing, and long-term planning, facilitation of meetings, and community organizing. Aside from this, since the program coordinator is one of the few registered social workers in CSWDO, her focus is frequently diverted to tasks that only registered social workers can do, like conducting case studies for clients who go to CSWDO seeking assistance. Sometimes, half of her day is consumed conducting these case studies that are completely unrelated to the Sanggawadan program. Thus, the precious time that could have been devoted to Sanggawadan is lost on these other responsibilities. Because of this, I highly recommend that at least 2 more registered social workers be added to the Sanggawadan program in order for at least one social worker to be focused on each of the levels of social work practice in the program. Coordination among the 3 will ideally be easier based on the similarity in their background and value system as social workers. The Sanggawadan program is yet to establish a comprehensive documentation system that encompasses all of its activities, including but not limited to minutes of meetings, photo documentation, members' comprehensive database, and regularly written reports, all stored in an organized manner that is easy to access. Because there are issues in documentation, monitoring activities have no specific and valid basis because sources of monitoring data are not properly documented. Thus, improvements must also focus on the documentation system of the program. A documentation system appropriate for all levels of social work practice in the Sanggawadan program must be established and regularly maintained. This documentation system must cover hard and soft copies of documents, a filing system, and proper consolidation of the documents and raw data. The monitoring process can then bridge the gap between planning, implementation, and monitoring to identify practices that can safely be retained and changes that must be conducted between the three processes. The result of this process must then be properly documented into a comprehensive report. Lastly, as I mentioned earlier, there is also the lack of comprehensive evidence-based impact assessment or studies of the Sanggawadan program. My only recommendation for this issue, however, is to make studies possible, especially after clear documentation and monitoring systems are established. This will be very helpful in pinpointing what the strengths of the program are, making it easier to make something good become better. Likewise, it will be really helpful in identifying the program's weaknesses and challenges and come up with a solution that will not be vague and will have a clear target. Sanggawadan program is a very helpful program in addressing the basic needs of the marginalized children in the city, including their families and communities. It was indeed a privilege to work and learn with CSWDO through this program. This concludes my FI final sharing on generalist social work practice. Thank you so much for watching.